Thank you for joining us. You are with the Post Route Show with your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Post Route, the show where we dive deep into conversations with Black quarterbacks, both past and present. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings. This show is proudly brought to you by Quarter Five Back, the preeminent fraternity for Black quarterbacks and home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy. The BIP Memorial Trophy is the only award nationally that honors both the top HBCU quarterback and the top Black quarterback from high schools around the USA. We're always excited and happy to have you with us tonight. If you enjoy our show and would like to support what we're doing here on the Post Route, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. You can join us live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more phenomenal conversations here on the Post Route. Well, we are not weeks, but days away, I guess, from the NFL having that draft. I know a lot of people are excited about that, and we'll find out who's going to go where in another week or so. So that'll be an interesting thing to see what happens with that. Last year, there were quite a few quarterbacks that lined up. This year, not so many. And we'll see how that bears out, especially for the Black quarterbacks who will be coming out of the college ranks into the professional levels. And the two most people know about, of course, Cam Ward of Miami and Shedeur Sanders of Colorado. And it'll be interesting to see where both of them land because they are both outstanding quarterbacks, had great college careers, and now it's time to move on to the next level. And as they say, it's always a challenge to move there. But first, the business at hand of going through that draft. So we'll see how that works out, and hopefully it will work out for both of these gentlemen as it have done for other guys in the past. Our guest tonight, young man from the Maryland area. For those of you who are familiar with the Maryland area, hailing from Owings Mill, Maryland, played his high school ball at Northern High School up there in that area. And, you know, we don't hear a lot about what's going on in some parts of the country, but, man, when we get somebody from that area, as they call it, the DMV, I guess he qualifies for being the DMV, but the District of Maryland and Virginia area, hey, it's always a good thing. Last year, he was at Misericordia University over in Dallas, Pennsylvania, had a phenomenal freshman year, threw for 1,059 yards as a freshman, 8 touchdowns, had a great time over there, and now he has transferred to Stevenson University, which is really in his hometown. So you can just imagine the excitement, the anticipation, just the joy of being home. I'm wondering, now that he is right there in his backyard, does he get more care packages from his mom and dad being that close to home as he did when he was over in Dallas? So we're going to find out, and we're going to chop it up a little bit with him. But please welcome to the Post Route my guest tonight, Mr. T.J. Lattimore. T.J., welcome to the Post Route.
Thank you for having me. How you doing?
Oh, man, it is our joy, man. So let me just clear that one thing. So since you're so close to home now, are those care packages coming a little bit more frequently, or you can just go home and raid the refrigerator? How is that working for you?
Well, not certainly, because my parents now live in North Carolina, Charlotte area.
Okay.
So I do have some family around here, more than what I had at Dallas, Pennsylvania. But it is nice since I'm closer to more family, it's nice having that.
All right. A lot of your high school friends and teammates, they are aware of you being at Stevenson now?
Yes, they are.
Well, I would expect that's going to be a nice little section coming up there to cheer you on in the upcoming year, man, and see you could keep spinning that football the way you did in high school.
Yes. It would be a blessing.
So let's talk a little bit about that transition. So you came into high school playing very well up there at Northern. and then it's time to make that transition. Talk a little bit about what that was like and the path, who was interested in you, and what it took for you to get the Misericordia doing you.
Um, it's just had it 1 year because my junior year was not the best how I wanted it, but I had my senior year, had that, then got recruited at like Shenandoah, Bridgewater, Bethany, Muskingum, a little bit of Stevenson at the time, and then Misericordia, obviously, and then Misericordia just looked like the place I wanted to be. They also had a coach that I really felt had a connection, so that was a big part of my decision when I committed. He just felt like a uncle, and then was a family guy, so that was a big
Okay.
thing for me.
Well, anytime you finish up that high school career and you're looking at going on to the next level, man, there's a lot of anticipation and a lot of anxiety as to if I'm going to get picked up, somebody's going to come and get me. But in listening to the names of the schools that you just called off, a lot of schools, many of us are probably not familiar with. Were most of those Division III schools you were calling?
Yes, they were. They were all Division III.
Okay. And for those people who don't know, there aren't scholarships for Division III. Is that correct?
No, sir.
Not
Only academic.
athletic scholarships.
Yes,
Not
only
athletic
academic.
scholarships, but academic scholarships, definitely.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you get to Misericordia, and all of a sudden you go through the fall practice, and the season starts, and before you know it, you're the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
What happened with that?
We had 3 weeks. We got to 3 weeks down. I was number 2 in the depth chart, but then our starting quarterback got hurt, so I had to step up. Then I had my first start week 4 versus Alvernia, which really felt electric. And then just from there, it was go time. Had to lock in and grind. That was it.
So, being a freshman, I mean, here you are. You're 3 months removed from high school, 4 months removed from high school. You're on the college campus playing for a college team. You're a freshman. You got upperclassmen who are looking at you, wondering, okay, he's okay, but now you got to be the leader of the team. What was their response? How did they respond to you becoming the starting quarterback from a leadership position?
I think everyone was good with it. I know some players had my back, even if I wasn't the biggest leader, or like, because I know I got down on myself a lot. I thought I let a lot of people down when I didn't make the right reads or make the right decisions. So I had some people pick me up, but then also I had to pick up some other players and take the leadership, just leading them. And then also being the quarterback position, you had to lead no matter what
Yeah.
the circumstances, no matter if you're down, up, whatever.
So in that experience, what would be some of the things you learned about you as a player and a leader that you probably hadn't recognized before? What did you learn about yourself?
I learned that I get in my head a lot, I would say, and when we don't make the right decision, I try to like keep it in. I don't just wipe it off and go to the next play. But then on the brighter side, I would say I'm a good like team leader, I would say, and talk people up. So like whenever they make a bad play, I gotta keep them on the right path and make sure they're good for next play. So I think that
Well,
was a good thing.
I can definitely understand how that can, especially because as a freshman, in one respect, you're kind of fragile because it's like, man, I was expecting to maybe stand on the sideline for most of the season and learn from being on the sideline. I was not expecting, but obviously you stepped up, man, and that's a big thing because you could have just fallen down and shrunk and said, I can't do this, but that's not what TJ did. You stepped up, and of course you're going to have some hiccups. You're going to have some things that you didn't perform well at. However, you're not going to let that get you down, and that's a learning process. And it's like you remember riding your first bicycle?
Yes, sir.
How many times did you fall off that bike?
A bunch.
Okay, but you kept getting back on, right?
Yes,
So
always.
it's the same. It's the same thing, man. So that's a good thing. So you guys came out of that freshman year, man. So were you expecting to be the starter going back in the next year after the guy who gotten hurt? Was he coming back, or were you expecting to be the starter for the next year?
I was expecting to be the starter because at the time we had the same coaching staff. He even told me I was going to be the guy from now on and
Okay,
just going into the next season. Then a bunch of stuff happened with coaching. Coaches got new jobs,
okay,
and we
okay.
brought in new players, and stuff just really changed.
Got you, got you. Okay. So with that change, you felt perhaps maybe you needed to find a different place.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess Stevenson had some thoughts about that too. And I guess the two of you guys connected and so far is working out.
Yes, it's very good so far. I love it here.
Okay.
I'm happy to be here.
Were you familiar with Stevenson while you were going to high school?
Yes,
Okay.
I went to a game before, and then I know some kids from my high school that went there earlier than me, that
Okay.
graduated before me. So I knew of the place, and also went to like some camps here too.
Okay. What value would you put on guys going to quarterback camps? I mean, how valuable is that for guys improving of himself, his skills? How would you rate that?
I would say it's very valuable because you don't. Some schools don't even have like QB trainers, so when you go there, he could teach you a lot in that little bit of time. So and then just going to many of those, you get taught by different coaches. They tell you a
Mhm.
bunch of different things that's all going to help you as one. So I think it's very valuable. Then also showing your talent around the world to coaches, all that.
So after going to those camps, what one or two things would you say helped improve you the most?
Um, I know with most of them, they help me like with moving out the pocket and throwing on the run, and then
Okay,
just arm technique and all that, like using my legs more than my arm, using my
okay,
hips, getting those through.
okay, okay. Now that's the physical aspects of it. What about the mental aspects, TJ? What kind of mental things have you transitioned to in the last 2 years to make you a better quarterback?
Really just getting better at reading defenses and also like learning the game more by watching film and all, like just taking notes, all that stuff, and just getting deep into the playbook like you need to. And just playing ball, knowing what you have to do, knowing what they're gonna do before you even do it.
Yeah, yeah. That is so key to quarterbacks because in looking at guys when they number one don't make the proper reads, that really is frustrating for
Mhm.
both the quarterback, the coaches, the team, and the fans. But bouncing back from that, but if when you were coming up in high school, uh, do you feel that you were quite into reading and learning how to be a better quarterback then, or has that happened more since you got to college?
I would say like I did a little bit, but more of it happened when I got to college and
Okay,
just learned more about the game and from the
okay,
quarterback aspect.
okay, okay. Well, that's important because as I've watched guys in high school, I sometimes wonder what is going through their heads at times because the progression of taking your reads, but yet when you lock in on one guy, you only help the defense. You lock in on a guy most of the time, that helps the defense. I mean, so I can understand how that part of becoming a more mental quarterback definitely helps. Um, now that you're at Stevenson, how long have you been there now?
Since January, like late January, so
Late
about
January.
I'd say
Okay.
3 months almost.
Okay. And spring practice has started already.
Yes, we actually already completed that. We've been
Y'all
through that
completed
already.
spring practice.
Yes,
Okay. All right. And how did that work out?
it was good. It was good to get actually since I already had the playbook written down. It was good to see it in person and getting timing down with the receivers and running backs and all that.
Okay.
and nice to be
Well,
in
now, oh, okay.
pass.
So now that that part is over, and you've got these next 2 to 3 months to, I won't say take a break, but what are your plans now that spring practice is over and you got to look forward to fall practice? What are you looking at trying to work on over that downtime?
Well, I'm gonna go back to North Carolina and go to my speed training, which is Ultimate Athlete, and then
Okay.
also my QB trainer at Coach Boone, who I just started going to, but he's been already making a difference with a bunch of stuff on my quarterback physicality, I would say.
Okay. Okay. All right. Uh, Weight training, is that something that you really put a lot of effort into also?
Yes, I would say so. You gotta be able to move some weight when you're playing the ball, especially trying to knock off defenders and all that.
So, how did your teammates respond to you in the spring game, being that you were the new guy? I take it you were the starter for one side.
Yes.
How did they respond to you in the spring game?
Well, we didn't have a spring game, but like we had a
Okay.
bunch of spring because I don't think most D3s have it, but we
Okay.
didn't have one. So I mean, all players think of me pretty good, I would say, as of what I heard, and then everyone saw how I threw the ball, and they were pretty surprised. They didn't think much, but they also saw me play him. Most of them saw me play him there my freshman year when we played Stevenson.
Okay. So, the teams in your conference at Stevenson, are those some of the same teams you played when you was at Misericordia?
Yes.
Okay, so you're kind of familiar with those teams. Okay. Um, are most of the teams in that conference, are they pretty much passing or running or kind of a balance?
I would say most of them are passing.
Yeah.
It's like probably 75% passing, 25% running. But most of them just pass a lot. It's really pass heavy conference, I would say.
Okay. Now, as a young player playing Pop Warner football, were you a quarterback in Pop Warner, or did that kind of happen when you got to high school?
I played really all around. Started off as a lineman, followed my dad's footsteps, and
A
then
lineman?
yeah, and then midway through that time, they switched me to running back. So then I played that for a little bit, then played quarterback, and then tight end, and then middle linebacker a lot.
Okay. Sounds like you played almost everything but the team manager.
Almost.
Yeah. So that gave you a lot of experience. What kind of helped you settle into wanting to be a quarterback? What kind of really told you that, hey, this is what I really want to do?
Well, I always knew I could throw the ball, especially deep balls. And then like I just wanted to really be the leader and be able to lead my team and be that guy who can
Okay.
make all the plays. I really wanted to touch the ball on some a little selfish when I was a little kid, but always wanted to touch the ball every play. So that's
Gotcha.
what a big thing was when I was younger.
Well, speaking of leadership, I know me. There are a couple of books that I really lean on for leadership advice. Um, are there any books in particular that are your favorite books for just reading tips on being a better leader, or just some things to help you through that process? Because I'm drawing a blank right now. It'll come to me, but I'm drawing a blank right now on one of my favorite leadership books. But what about that for you? Do you do that?
I would say one of my favorites is it's called The Quarterback by Bruce Fledman.
Okay.
I really like that book. I've been reading that for a good minute now, and
Okay.
I always go back to it if I need to. So that's a good one for me.
Now, if there was any quarterback you could call on to just pick his brain or call him up for advice, who would that be, TJ?
I would have to go with my favorite, Cam Newton.
You'll call Cam Newton up?
Yes, I'm calling Cam Newton.
Okay. All right. And what about Cam Newton really just makes you feel great about the kind of guy he was?
Really his play style and attitude, and just being, especially when he was young in the league and still
Yeah.
dominating like the top 5 quarterback of the league. So just being a young quarterback and then just dominating was a big thing. And then his play style was just how he could run, pass, extend plays, all that was just what really got me into him.
Yeah, I used to think sometimes when he was in the NFL, they let defenders take shots on him he really didn't deserve to take. I know he's 6'6", about 250, but you don't let everybody take shots on other guys. So why that used to just kind of bother me. But to know that that would be the guy that you would pick his brain on, I mean, that's interesting. He had an interesting career because he started out at a community college. He was going to go to he was at Florida, went to community college, ended up at Auburn, and everything fell into place for him at Auburn, man. So I thought he had a phenomenal career and was a phenomenal quarterback at the pro level.
Yes.
Any other guys you kind of really admire as quarterbacks that you really like? I know you said you were number one because of Cam. I mean, anybody else you really see as having a great set of skills?
Lamar Jackson, really like him, and you got to go the GOAT, Tom Brady. That's always the number one. And then those two right there, I really watch film on a lot, and then also C.J. Stroud, especially his rookie year.
I bet you if you take your glasses off, you'll look like T.J. Stroud, man.
I got that.
You ever been told that?
Yep. Yeah, every single time.
I can imagine. Well, C.J. Stroud, man, he plays with such poise, I guess, and that's one thing that comes with experience. But then at the same time, as you are developing, man, you have that kind of aura. So when I see him play, man, I just think, man, that guy's really calm, collected. And then you see a Lamar Jackson, man, that guy has got all the wheels in the world. I mean, it's like unbelievable. So you got wheels like Lamar, TJ?
No. He's too fast.
Well, being from Maryland, have you ever gone over there to see him play for the Ravens?
Yes, I have. We actually got to go one time after we won our state's game at, what was that, 2022 year?
Yeah.
We got to go see them play, which was nice.
Okay. Did y'all get a chance to go meet them afterwards? Did they say, or it was just y'all went to the game?
I think we just went to the game. It was just that.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you, man. When I was coming up, anytime you see one of your heroes playing a game or something, man, it's almost like you're on a cloud. It's like, man, I'm so excited. I can't calm down. So I can imagine what that was like, man, for you guys to be able to win the state. You said y'all won the state?
Yes, we won the state.
Well, that's great. Congratulations. Then you go toast it off by having a chance to see a Lamar Jackson and the Ravens play. And I hope that Lamar will get a chance to at least play in the Super Bowl before his playing days are over. It's very competitive now. What are your thoughts about many of the quarterbacks who play now, the black quarterbacks who are playing now in the league, from the standpoint of, do you feel that maybe sometimes they're getting rushed to play too soon, or do you think they need maybe a year to kind of sit on the sidelines and get a feel for the game?
I think they're doing good. Like, if you see, Jaden Daniels didn't need a year. He got straight to work, started just balling out. There's a bunch of players that, they might need a year. Like Joe Milton maybe needed a year. But I think he's still a dog, which he should be able to play at the Cowboys this year, I think. And then there's a lot of them, like Jalen Hurts. He's doing great.
Yeah.
You got Russ still doing his thing. And, there's just a good amount of them. I think they're all doing good. I don't think they're rushing to play them, if you would say.
Yeah.
But I think it's going well for all of them.
Well, I asked that because the first guy that always comes to mind when I think about pro teams maybe rushing was RG3. Mm-hmm. I thought they kind of rushed him a little bit because when he got hurt, he got hurt, then y'all try to heal him up and rush him back. And then Tua down in Miami, I'm really concerned about that guy, man, because it's like, dude, one more hit, you could be a vegetable. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
And then Bryce Young this past year, what he went through, starting, not doing so well, pull him out. Other guy comes in, not doing so well, put Bryce in, then he finishes strong. So I think maturity has a lot to do with it, especially, like you said, when you left high school and went to college, it's a little bit faster. You go to that level, it's a lot faster.
Yes, very.
And that's why I asked that question, because these are real grown men you playing when you get to the pros, man. It's like, look, it's a job for real now, and they are really out there, bigger, faster, stronger. So that's my only concern. Uh, are you familiar with the history of some of the black quarterbacks who have played in the NFL or in the CFL?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Tell me some of the names you're familiar with.
You got Mike Vick, Randall
Okay.
Cunningham.
What Cunningham?
Randall Cunningham.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. All right.
You got we got Warren Moon. You got Steve McNair. All those. I could keep on going for a good amount.
One of the biggest guys I ever saw play in the NFL was Dante Culpepper.
Mm-hmm.
That guy was just about 6'5", 260. Can you imagine, once he took off, like, you don't want to really hit that guy, right?
Yeah.
He was a load. And I'm glad you mentioned Randall Cunningham, because I think a lot of times people have forgotten just how great of a quarterback he was physically, with his height of being about 6'4", but he could run and still throw. He was very agile, had speed. But when they talk about guys, I respect Michael Vick a lot. I just wanted to be known that, hey, man, Randall Cunningham was doing some things way before we had a Michael Vick that we, have to talk about. Of course, Steve McNair, without question, man, was one of the most formidable opponents you will ever want to see. So, do you and your dad ever talk about some of the days back when he was growing up, man, in football back in his time?
Yeah, he talks about it almost every time I see him.
I guess. And have you ever seen some of the films of some of the guys he talked about?
Yeah, I have. He even showed me some. I think I seen one clip of him playing one time.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was.
What position did he play?
He played lineman, offensive line, and D line.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'm sure you kind of laughed to see some of the uniforms and the equipment from back in the day, man. It's like,
yeah.
But it was what it was. So the equipment back then, man, it was violent, but not as violent. It's a lot more violent now. But yeah, I think about some of the days of quarterbacks during my time of growing up, man. And I tell my sons my all-time favorite is a guy by the name of Johnny Unitas. And they're like, well, Dad, come on, man. I'm like, hey, man, that guy was incredible. That's all I can say. But yeah, your dad probably could tell you about Johnny Unitas too, man, because he probably saw some of that. So, excuse me. What are some of the things, if I may ask before we go to break, as you get ready to prepare for this season, what are your goals and expectations for this year, TJ?
Goals is competing for the job and hopefully getting it since
Okay.
we're still in competition. And then just leading my team. I think we have a good chance at winning our conference,
Right.
and then going in the playoffs. And if that wasn't it, we're going to get a bowl game. And just if we get the playoffs, go deep in there, fight, keep fighting, and hopefully get that natty.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, stay with me. We're going to take our commercial break at this time and come back and finish talking with TJ Lattimore. Thank you, sir, for being with us. We'll be back in a little bit after we do these commercials, but we always got to get them in. And just want to let you know, starting this past Sunday, I brought on a new media piece to our Quarterfive Back family, and it's the Forgotten Quarterbacks podcast. It airs every Sunday at 1:00. Now, just to give you an idea of what this podcast is about. Each Sunday, I will do kind of a historical piece on either a specific player, a specific program, or a combination of the two for historical purposes about black quarterbacks, because a lot of times we don't know about them, and until someone brings them to our attention, we really kind of bypass them. For instance, if we didn't have a TJ Lattimore on tonight on our show, you may not have heard of a TJ Lattimore unless you're from that DMV area. So the Forgotten Quarterbacks podcast every Sunday, 1:00. You can check it out. It's carried by Buzzsprout. So please check us out and let us know what you think. Then the other thing is, when we talk about our merchandise, we want to make sure everybody is in tune with that. So again, our logo t-shirt is something we want everyone to become accustomed with. This is a very beautiful shirt. It's a sublimation design with the logos on the front and back, the title of our organization, Quarterfied Back, on the back. That logo is the logo of Oliver Bip Joyce, who we named our award after. And of course, the preeminent down the side. You can now get this shirt by ordering. We are now in the process of bringing our store online. So until we get that done, which we hope we'll have it done by the first of the month, you can order it directly from our website at quarterfiback.com. You can Zelle us at 904-994-2189 or Cash App us at $QFiBack44. Get you one of these shirts. You'll love it. I guarantee you it'll be the talk of wherever you go. People will want to know, what is that shirt all about? And if you don't want that one, you can always get you the golf shirt, same design, just in black, $55 for these shirts. Sublimation again, the preeminent down the sides. But I wore this shirt out the other day, man, and I had some compliments about beautiful shirt, nice looking shirt. So when you get a chance, check us out. $55 for our golf shirt. I guarantee if you get this golf shirt and go on the golf course, people are going to want to know what you're wearing. And then if that is not what you want, you can always get our basic logo t-shirt for only $25 now. The official Quarterfied Bag logo t-shirt, 100% cotton, very smooth, soft cotton, something you would love to have. We hope that you would support us by getting you one of these shirts. Again, our merchandise, you can order directly through our website or our email. And then if you really want to get pretty fancy, we now have our warm-ups available, the Quarterfied Back warm-up. Those sell for $89.99 and $109 if you're 2X to X or 4X. So all of our products are very well made, very well crafted. The warm-ups and the sublimation shirts are customized just for you. So you want to make sure you get your size done and make sure it's accurate so we can make sure your size fits. And we'll get that out to you. Takes about 3 to 4 weeks before we can get that warm-up back to you because, again, it's custom made. So the T-shirts, the golf shirt are just a part of what we're doing here. And then, of course, if you have not gotten your copy of my book, The Forgotten QBs, go on our website, click on the icon for the book, and you can order your book, $35 for our book, the little-known history, information, and statistics about black quarterbacks in American college football. These quarterbacks are from all parts of the country, playing at many different schools around the nation, from both the upper level at the D1 level down to the Division II. Some of them may be Division III levels. But please get your copy of our book. Again, you can go Zelle us at 904-994-2189 or Cash App us at $QFiBack44 for our merchandise. Please support us. And if you just want to make a donation, you can always just send us a donation to one of those addresses, Zelle or Cash App. We do appreciate it. We're going to get back to our guest now, Mr. TJ Lattimore. Currently a Are you classified now as the junior, TJ? Is that the way they're classifying you, or you're a redshirt sophomore?
I'm a sophomore, but about to go into junior year.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so you told us what your goals and aspirations are, and that's a good thing. Looking forward to the upcoming season. I know wanting to win a championship is definitely something that all players, all teams, all coaches aspire for. The relationship with your coaching and the coaching staff at Stevenson, how well has that gone for you so far?
It's really good. I really enjoy having them, and they're like family already. They brought me in, teaching me a lot already, so it's going good so far. I'm happy.
Well, that's a good thing, man. I'm really happy for you that you have made that transition to a place that is going to treat you like home, and man, you can make some big things happen. We will be keeping up with what's going on, so we'll be checking in with you. I know it's kind of hard getting those D3 scores sometimes, but we'll be checking in with you personally to find out how your season is going, man, and make sure you're doing a good job and you're staying injury free for the most part, because that is so critical. Now, as you talk about getting ready for the upcoming season, rivalry wise, does Stevenson have a rival that you're aware of, and what kind of rivalry is it if there is one?
I know there is one. It's Del Val. They're in our conference.
Okay.
We're normally the two top teams in the conference, so we always go back, and I guess they always go back and forth at it. So that's a little rivalry they have. I don't know when it started, but I know that's our rivals.
Okay. So when you playing those what would you say is the biggest game? The first game of the year, the rival game of the year, or that critical game where you might be ending up going to the playoffs? Which one would be most critical for you?
Um, I would have to say the one going to the playoffs.
Okay.
Gotta get that one.
Got to get that one. No
Yeah.
matter what has happened before that, you got to get that one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I know from a perspective of HBCUs, man, we have rival games, and I'm not sure if you're familiar, excuse me, with the rivalry at HBCUs, man, but you do know what homecoming feels like, of course.
Yes, sir.
Well, a rivalry game for HBCU is like another homecoming.
Mhm.
And the tailgating that goes on, the fun, I mean, it is just unbelievable. Playing at a D3 level, do they do a lot of trash talking at that level, man? I mean, I'm just curious because I don't know. I have to ask.
Yeah, I would say they do a lot, especially during the game. Just it's a bunch of talk. Refs be telling us to quiet down, or we get in flags the whole time.
Well, that's I guess that's just a part of it, man. You know,
Mhm.
and I would hope that TJ doesn't fall prey to some of that sometimes. Even though you do have to let them know that, hey, man, we're not backing down from you guys.
Got to stand your ground.
Got to stand your ground, man. Got to stand your ground. Play wise, what type of plays are your favorite type of plays to call, and what kind of pass routes do you favor over others?
Play routes. I love flood concept. You got a scissors concept. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with a little quick game. Get your receivers working. Let them
Okay.
do all the work a little bit. But favorite route, I would have to say skinny post or 10 to 12 yard speed out. Love those two.
So are you saying those are probably the passes that you are most comfortable with, and you can just really throw those, spin those with little problem?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing to know, man. Did any guys from Misericordia transfer with you over to Stevenson?
None transferred over with me, but there is some that transferred away from Misericordia.
Okay. Okay. I didn't know if you had a favorite receiver that was coming with you or what. Um, and working out with your new receivers, have you kind of connected with one that seems to be a guy you could really go to a lot, maybe during the season?
Yes, I would say there's actually a good amount. They're all a bunch of dogs. So if I need one, I could go to any four. So
Okay.
But yeah, there is one that's like the main guy. You can always find him wherever you need be, and he's always doing his job at least. So you
Okay.
don't have to worry about that.
Well, that's a good thing to know, man, because you definitely need to have a go-to guy in in games, man, knowing that, he's got confidence in you, you got confidence in him, and you guys can connect. So, uh, let's talk a little bit about college athletics from the standpoint of marketing and this NIL branding um, as it relates to this day and time. Because as I shared with you, it took them a long time to finally pull the trigger on compensating college football players with money. And I think when they were talking about this from the NCAA level, the first thing was maybe giving guys stipends. Uh, and I'm sure some people were a little leery of that. But were you familiar with the fact that they had really been talking about trying to provide stipends for football players?
No, I actually didn't hear about that. That's news to me.
Yeah, yeah, because they were saying how guys were making all this money for the schools, but they could not get anything in return. And when you had situations where a guy needed to go to maybe a family member's funeral or something very important and couldn't even afford a suit, and if somebody gave him a suit, it became a violation.
Hmm.
And I think the more the revenue kept going up, TV revenue kept going up. The more it kept going up, the more critical it became a conversation. So before they went to the NIL, I think the Power Four conferences were really trying to do, uh, seeing how they were going to do the stipend. What are your thoughts about the NIL right now?
I think it's a good thing. I'm actually happy they did because some players just making money for the school, like you said. So I honestly think they should be getting paid before even making it to the pro. And even though some players don't make it to the pro, they still get that NIL money, even though they just balled out in college. So I think it's a good thing that they added it, and it's helping out a lot of kids,
Do, do
especially with
you
their families.
do you think guys coming out with NIL backing will diminish their opportunities to maybe get a better contract to the NFL?
Um, Possibly it could if coaches see it like that way,
Yeah,
but then some might not. It really might depend on who you are and how you play.
right.
That could be a big thing.
Okay. Um, I'm just speaking on that because recently, after looking at what's going on with the quarterback, I'm not going to mention any names, but wanting to get more than what he's already making, and I'm just wondering, when one guy does it, another guy will do it, and it kind of snowballs. I just hope it doesn't cause it to backfire for some degree because the colleges are saying that they're not getting ready to buy into, kind of being held up like, I got to have more. It's like, no, because
Mhm.
that could dry up. I mean, that sponsorship stuff could dry up or it could just go away.
Yes, very.
Now, you did mention that it would be quite sufficient if you could see that type of NIL happening at the D3 level.
Yes, I think it would be a very good thing for especially the people I know at the D3 level. It's sometimes hard with having to pay for school and then also gotta pay for all the other accessories that you need or just groceries. So that's a
Yeah.
big thing. And even some kids living off campus got to pay for rent, work, while also playing football and doing school. So that's a big thing.
Is that kind of a big thing at Division 3 because they don't offer athletic scholarships that guys who are playing athletics have to supplement what they're doing and find a job? Is that what some of them have to do?
Yes, I would say so. I know there's a bunch of people on my team right now, and even on when I was at Miz, there was a bunch of people with jobs, and they're most of the time throughout the week just working, like right after practice, going to work.
Were the coaching staff kind of instrumental in helping them get those jobs?
Yes, I would say so. They give us opportunities and give us guide us where to go and what's helpful, or especially with like internships and with all that stuff too.
Okay. What are your thoughts about guys having to work and play football at the
Um,
college level?
I think I mean, it's kind of hard to watch it because like you could see they're struggling,
Yeah,
especially when you have to wake up after going off from a 8 o'clock or a 12-hour shift. You got to come do a 5 a.m. lift, so that's kind of really hard just seeing that, and then they're just trying to get through it. So I mean, you got to do what you got to do at the points, but it is a lot on on one plate, I would
yeah.
say.
Would you say guys are familiar with that aspect of Division III football before they get there, or they don't know really a lot about it until they get there?
If coming from my point, I didn't know it was like this. Like some people having to work a job, or and then having to find your own ways of money to pay for your needs and what you need.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, do they provide you guys with a good meal plan at that level at Misericordia and at Stevenson? Do you have a good meal plan?
Yes, I would say so. At Misericordia, we had a very good meal plan, especially my freshman year. And then when I got here, meal plan's good here too. So it helps out a lot.
It's not a thing where the calf or some type of cafe is kind of open till not all night, but maybe till maybe 11 at night. So if you guys get hungry, you can go there and get something to eat, or how does that work out?
Yeah, so on Stevenson, we have a restaurant named Pandini's that's like in the area of the cafeteria that's open till I think 12 o'clock, if I'm not
Okay.
wrong.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing for everyone, whoever comes back late, either from work or like practice, get
Okay.
practice funds late. So that's good.
Okay. Okay. Uh, what time do you guys go to practice in the fall? What's the
In the
normal?
fall, I think we're from 2 to 5 o'clock
2 to 5,
meetings and practice.
and then straight to the calf after that?
Yeah, most likely.
I bet you they know when you guys come in.
Yeah.
I can remember experiencing some of that when I was in college, man. It's kind of quiet. It's already a little noisy, man, but football team come in, they're in the cafeteria, but yeah, they and I know they're really, really hungry, but and then late at night, when you need that snack, man. Uh, at some schools, man, there's not some other place you can go. You're hoping that you can
Mhm.
go get a fast food something, and but but that's interesting because knowing that you guys have a good training table and they taking care of you guys, and to hear that, I was not aware that guys at that level really had to offset their needs by finding jobs. I mean that's surprising to me.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works, but it happens.
Did you have to find a job?
I haven't yet, but I most likely plan on it next year.
Okay, all right. Uh, what's your major while you're in at Stevenson? What are you majoring in?
I'm in business administration with a track of sports management.
Okay, now sports management to do exactly what?
My goal is to coach at the college level and also become a trainer and open my own facility.
Your
So,
own training facility?
yes, open that up with a nice turf field and weight room.
Well, with a business management degree, you will learn business and how to make that happen. So I expect that will happen for you. You're in a very good area for that to happen, but that would be very, very good. I'm sure you'll be proud of yourself on the day you open up that facility.
Yes.
If you could advise guys in high school on some of the things they need to work on specifically, what would you tell them they need to do?
Um, Hit the weight room hard, stay focused, get your academics up, stay on track with academics, listen to your parents a lot, and then just take in all the coaching you could get, no matter what it is, if it's good or bad, just take it in. I
You
would
know,
say
I'm glad
that's
you said that because sometimes I think guys in high school don't realize that without the academics, you can't go to college and play football anymore. You
nope.
know, it's not like you can jump. Well, in baseball, you can go from high school straight to minor league. I mean, I don't think that pipeline will end. They kind of added, you know, you got to be maybe a sophomore to come out of college to get to the pros. But football, there is no jump, and unless you got the grades to get in and maintain those, and that's one of the things that just really makes me sad that guys won't maintain their academics. Once you know you want a scholarship, you get the scholarship, but you won't do what's necessary to maintain it. So
Mhm.
knowing that you would advise them to stay on top of that is important. How
Yes.
important is it? How important to you would you say is it being a very coachable athlete?
It's very. Some coaches don't even want to coach you if you're not coachable. If you don't take in the coaching, they're not going to want to coach you at that point. So then you probably just you just lost your shot at like playing. So it's you got to be coachable to play the sport here, especially especially at this level.
When you were getting ready to come out or doing your senior year in high school, were you feeling that you were a very coachable guy?
I would say so. I would take in all the coaches I can get from anyone. Honestly, didn't even matter if they played football or not.
Okay, okay. Well, that's another plus, man, because again, uh, I've seen sometimes where kids lose their focus because they're listening to somebody in the stands tell them about something they should be doing on the field, and that's if I'm a coach and I see that, that's going to be a reason for me to tell you you're not going to play tonight or whatever because you're not worried about the game. You're listening to somebody else, and that has really kind of been something I've been critical about in my own observations. Um, so that is something that you know. Do you feel that you are a person who, if you saw a kid doing something that could be a detriment to them going to the next level, do you feel confident enough that you could at least say something or speak to them and advise them on something? Is that a part of your character?
Yes, I would say so. Especially with me wanting to be a coach, got to do that stuff. So I did it many times before, especially
Okay.
with my younger cousins that's playing football and all that stuff. So that's I would say so. Yes, that is.
Well, well, practicing on our cousins or relatives is a good way to find out if it works because if they're not listening, but then again, other guys might listen to you, man. And um, I've shared this. There is no greater honor than a kid calling you coach.
Hmm.
I mean, that is just huge, man. I mean, that's ultra respect because they'll do for you what they won't do for maybe mom and dad sometimes.
Yes,
So
very.
absolutely, absolutely. So, um, you got any siblings?
Yes, I have an older sister.
An older sister. Okay.
Yes,
Uh, very good. Very good. A lot older or just a little bit older?
a little bit older, not too much.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well, I'm sure that when football season comes around, that a pair of parents will be making that trek back up to Orange, Maryland, just to check you out because you won't be in a game that'll be close to North Carolina, would you?
We will be in one that's probably like I think it's 3 hours away from where they are, so not
Okay.
too far.
And you said they're in Charlotte.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Man, it's a lot of good football talent down there in North Carolina, man. Let me tell you,
Mhm.
a lot of good talent. So, well, TJ, let me tell you, my man, it has been a joy and a pleasure to have you on the show tonight, man. It has really been my honor to bring you on. Thank you so very much to responding uh, to my social media director, i.e., my son, for wanting to come on the show, man, because we've been looking forward to having you on. So I just want you to know that we appreciate you and as we do every week, we get to this part of the show where, just as important as bringing you on, I must now do the second best part of this show that I must do by you being our guest on the post route tonight. We will now like to bestow on you and welcome you to the fraternity of Black quarterbacks known as Quarter Phi Back. Congratulations, young man. Thank you so very much. We welcome you to the brotherhood and to the fraternity called Quarter Phi Back, man. And we are just building. We are now currently at about 70 members. So you are now added to that elite group of individuals. And we thank you, man, and congratulate you for coming on and becoming our newest member.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. It's an honor.
So really, what we will do is we prepare a official letter of welcome and an official lifetime membership certificate that we'll email out to you, so you can then know that you are an official member of what we're doing. We are growing our organization, and as we grow, we will bring other things in so that we can impart them to our membership. We've got some ideas about merchandise that we want to make available. So as we are growing, we've only been doing this now about a year and a half with the fraternity, but everything takes some time to grow it, man. But once we really get on track, man, we got some things we're going to be providing to you guys, so that when you wear that Quarter Phi Back logo and people say, "What is that?" You can proudly tell them you're a member of a fraternity of Black quarterbacks like none other. So we're happy to have you to be a part, man. If you run into any Black quarterbacks along your path, man, young or old, middle school, high school, please let them know that you're a part of this. And if they're interested, man, we welcome them to come on the show to share their experiences and to just talk with us about what's going on. So we are definitely happy and pleased to have you on. So if you want to talk a little bit more after the show is over, we can. But for right now, thank you again and welcome to the fraternity.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor.
All right. That is our guest tonight, Mr. T.J. Lattimore, upcoming quarterback at Stevenson University up there in Owings Mill, Maryland. We're looking to hear more about him as the football season progresses in 2025. Great to have him join us as our newest member of Quarter Phi Back. Always glad to get one more guy in as we continue to grow our membership. Well, that's just about going to do it for me tonight here on the Post Route. As always, join us every week, Monday nights at 7 p.m., as we bring you another guest with another phenomenal story here on the Post Route. Well, we'll always thank our fans and our viewing audience. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting. If you'd like to know more about what we're doing or keep up with us, go to Instagram, Quarter_Phi_Back on Instagram to get the messages and to find out who's coming up on the show. Some beautiful things being put out on our Instagram page. Our social media director, Mr. C.L. Lazier, is doing a great job with that. So please be aware of that. So until next time, for me and the crew, we say so long for now. And as always, go deep and go for the bomb. Take care, everybody.